Hello everyone, and thank you for clicking on this video. It was inspired by a news report I recently saw about a pagan ceremony being used by ecologists in Somerset as part of their efforts to rejuvenate the native eel population. I thought it tied in well with my last video and it piqued my interest somewhat, so I'm going to report on it today. The group behind this is the Somerset Eel Recovery Project, or SERP. For those who don't know, eels have historically been a very important part of the Somerset Levels, the large flat wetlands in the heart of the county. Unfortunately, the local Anguilla eel population has declined by around 90% since the 1980s, which is extremely concerning. However, SERP has stepped in and their technologically advanced eDNA testing has revealed a cause of this decline appears to be the construction of weirs and small dams across the river network. These barriers may not be large to humans, but they're enough to block the eels' migration routes, since their life cycle depends on being able to move freely between rivers and the sea. These barriers have been devastating. This matters because Somerset risks losing not just a species, but a creature that has long been part of its identity. In medieval times, rents were sometimes paid in eels, by the barrel or by the thousand, which shows just how abundant they once were. People have compared their annual migrations to the salmon runs of the Pacific Northwest. In times past, Somersetters took full advantage of this abundant source of protein, and smoked and stewed eel was a staple food in Somerset in the past, especially for poorer communities. Eels also carried an air of mystery. For centuries, no one ever saw them breed, yet young ones returned year after year. We know now that their life cycle is astonishing. They begin life as eggs in the Sargasso Sea deep in the Atlantic. The larvae drift on ocean currents until they develop into glass eels, which make their way back across the ocean, often returning to their very places of origin. In Somerset, they grow, turn from yellow to silver as they mature, and eventually set off back across the Atlantic to the Sargasso Sea to spawn and die. That's thousands of miles all under their own power, an incredible feat. The problem today is that many can't get back up into Somerset's rivers to live and grow, and this is where SERP comes in. They create straw ropes that young eels can climb when wet, helping them bypass the small dams and barriers. They also build eel runs with gentle inclines so the creatures can make their way upstream. SERP do not just stop there though. Another part of their project is connecting communities to their heritage and land, and one way they do this is through education. SERP has placed tanks of baby eels called elvers in schools, around 60 across the county, so children can help raise them before releasing them back into the wild. This both improves survival rates and builds a connection between local people and the eels. As project co-founder Vanessa Becker-Hughes explains, we make straw ropes which we put over barriers. They get wet and the little glass eels use them to climb up and over. But more than that, it gets people to visit these weirs. They notice the water, they count the eels, they start to care. And that brings us to the ceremony. SERP is known for trying unorthodox approaches. It prides itself on doing so. And sometimes they hold river blessings alongside the scientific work that they do. Becker-Hughes herself also said, "Sometimes we do science, sometimes we do a river blessing, but it's all about connection." I really admire that holistic approach. It's not just about the science. It's also about engaging the community, and for some people, engaging the spirit of the land and water too. Whether you believe in that or not, it certainly can't do any harm. One recent blessing took place in the shadow of Glastonbury Tor. Volunteers formed a circle around one of their rope ladders, used a shamanic drum to set the rhythm, and gave offerings of flowers and sunwheel symbols to the river. Here you can even see a libation of water being poured into the stream, with those symbols floating gently away. Some might laugh at it, but at the end of the day, these are volunteers giving up their time to try something different for the sake of the environment. If there is such a thing as a river spirit, I'm sure it would appreciate the gesture, and if not, the eels and the river still benefit from the care and attention. So fair play to SERP, and all the best to them in their mission to restore Somerset's eel population. Thank you very much for watching. I'll include a link in the description if you'd like to support SERP and donate to their work. Bye for now.